Yo, quick video. I'm not trying to be on this for long, just for a hot few minutes. But I want to talk about how propaganda matters. Like, I know this topic is touchy to some ninjas out here because I've been getting ninjas all heated up, feeling some type of way, and even though the videos I've been making had nothing to do with anyone personally, it was just me giving an observation and talking about the other side of the conversation, talking about different variables. But I cannot stress anymore how controlling the narrative is important. It is. I get it. People want to be individuals, hyper individuals, and only focus on themselves. But at the end of the day, it's just not enough to be a hyper individual. Like, when it's all said and done, you really can't be a 100% hyper individual. You can't really be an individual 100%. There's going to be some people that's going to see you as an individual, and there's also going to be some people that just see you as collective because they don't know you. They've been indoctrinated by the media or by their parents. They've been told certain things, or they had certain experience, and they just write certain people off with a certain people off. Excuse me, but that's just reality that people live in. It's just reality. It is what it is. I'm just trying to point it out and try to come up with some solutions to get around it. Because it seems like when I was talking about this issue, some people took it personally. Like, why are you taking this personally? And some people wanted to reply, especially making a video reply, but decided not to because they didn't want to basically hurt my feelings. Like, how? Like, none of you guys know me like that, especially in my personal life. You might know me off the internet, but that's pretty much it. So how can anything you guys say can remotely hurt my feelings? I'm just giving an opinion. I'm not even attacking anybody. But controlling the narrative, it matters, man. It really does because, for example, look what's going on in the media. You got these anti-Asian violent crimes happening, and I want to give my condolence to all Asians that been suffering, especially during this pandemic and post-pandemic. I do not condone what's been going on with them. I don't condone the violence, especially if people in my community been doing some of that stuff. If that's what some of my people been doing, if any of my people been playing their hands into this, I don't condone their actions, and they do not represent all of us. And to be honest with you, to the people, anybody who's watching this video, is that majority of these so-called attacks from African Americans, those are like isolated incidents. Majority of these attacks are by other people, but you let the media tell you it. They're making black people, especially black men, the face of these anti-violent crimes, and that's not necessarily sitting well with me. And I realize there are Asians calling that out. Don't get me wrong. So that's why I say that I'm not writing everything individuals. I'm not saying that it's wrong to be an individual. It's not okay to be an individual. I'm not saying that being an individual doesn't matter. I'm not saying that at all. I always take that into accountability. Excuse me, because at the end of the day, everybody's going to have their differences in experience. Everybody's going to have a different experience. I'm not writing everything out. I'm saying that at the end of the day, the collective still matters as well, because the collective sets the tone on how like the community feels, or how certain type of people feel, certain culture, certain people in certain backgrounds. They set the tone. You might have a handful of people or two handfuls of people that might be open to you, look at you as an individual, judge you by the content of your character, not by your background, all that. But there's going to be people, unfortunately, they're going to judge you by stereotypes, this, that, and the third. I'm just trying to give a knowledge on both sides. That's all I'm trying to do. And I won't be shamed for that. And I won't feel like I'm a bad person or feel like I'm the bad guy. Hey, if I got to be the bad guy, if I got to be the villain, then fine. I'll just be the necessary villain. I'm just a necessary villain. If that right now, I'm Steve Urkel. But if I got to turn to Lex Luthor, so be it. Because I'm thinking about doing some live streams. If anybody want to smoke, come and get this work. If you want to have a discussion and it's respectful, and I'm cool, we can have a discussion. Because again, I'm about to start doing live streams. So instead of being passive aggressive or send these little petty shots, subliminal messages, just be straight up. You got an issue with me, come in the comment section, let me know. We can talk it out. Or we can get a live stream going on, we can hash it out. Like gentlemen. Not like muggles. Because I really don't understand the problem that I've been getting. I really don't understand. I thought I honestly thought I'm out here trying to speak up for my brothers out here. Instead, it looks like I'm being put down by some. Not to the people who watch my videos who be on the comment section. But unfortunately, it's some people on the Discord. I feel like they got a problem with me. And I'm not even saying this out of hate or resentment. I still got love for everybody. I just want that same courtesy. I feel like I'm getting the short end of the stick. But look, it is what it is. I'm not trying to beef with anybody. This is Sysbm. I'm not even trying to get in these little situations with other fellow Sysbm brothers. Because I want to respect Mad Bus Driver's platform, and I don't want to put a bad look on this movement in this. But back to the topic I was talking about. But the media, the people who are in charge of media, they control the narrative, so they dictate the tone. They're making black men the focus, the perpetrators of this, even though these dude bros out here are actually killing these Asians and doing harm. And then you look at these code words they're using, like black and Asian solidarity, tension between black and Asians. And don't get me wrong, I have nothing against Asians. I've never had an issue with Asians like that. I mean, it was one time when I went to a Chinese buffet, and one dude in the cash where he was sort of rude. Like, I was trying to pay for my food. He was on the phone with somebody. He was like, "Hold up." It was like the way he told me to hold up. It's like he had a little bit of an attitude. I never went there again. It was someplace out of town. But there was just one incident, and it really wasn't that big of a deal. It was just, eh. I've never really had any problems with Asian guy I work with right now. He's a cool dude. We talk about anime and all that, man. Cool dude. And I'm all about solidarity. Like, if y'all want to, if the Asian community, they want a solidarity with the black community, they want to, become allies, or establish a relationship with us, be a little bit more open to each other, or basically treat each other with a little bit more respect and courtesy. I'm all for that. I have no problem with that whatsoever. And to be honest, it's unfortunately that it took events such as these despicable acts, these crimes out here. it took all that for us to seemingly try to have a dialogue with each other. That's very unfortunate. And I really do mean that. It's very unfortunate because I don't want anybody to get harmed out here. But my issue with this is I don't like the narrative that's been sprouted out here. Because if you look at the highlights, you look at these certain keywords like tension between Asians and blacks. Like it's like the media, it's like they're making it seem like these crimes have been committed by blacks. And then blacks and Asians, we got to come together and talk about the solidarity between each other and clean up all this tension. Black people are the ones that's out here doing all these attacks against them. We just need to come together and try to hash out the tension between each other. That's how I see it. And, and I'm not feeling that. And obviously, you do the research. First of all, blacks are on top of the food chain when it comes to hate crimes. Like we get the most hate crimes thrown at us, and then most of these so-called hate, they're not being committed by blacks against the Asians. We can know this and we can say this all we want, but because we don't control the keyword narrative, it doesn't matter because the narrative is, oh, they're getting all these black men, they're attacking Asians. We need the black community to understand that you're attacking Asians. You hear this, dude? You hear this? Do you guys hear that? That kind of set me off a little bit because that's not true. This is why propaganda is dangerous. It's dangerous. People are sheeps. People go off what they see on the media and social media and don't do their research. Most people don't do their research. This is why I said negative stereotypes, social stigma, that can have an effect on you. And I'm not saying 100%. I'm just saying to a degree it can have an effect. And I know some guys saying that your values, it doesn't matter about the stereotypes and the negative images and the social stigma. Values trifle all that. Really? But really though, I'm gonna have to respectfully disagree to an extent. Especially, you're around people that's open, got an open mind, or that's willing to judge you about the content of your character and your values instead of your background or certain negative images and stuff like that. But that's more of an individual standpoint. But from a collective standpoint, you can have your conservative values. You can have your values, this, that, and the third, be a good upstanding black person, wear a suit and a tie, but to some people you're still nothing more. You can be better off than somebody. Somebody can be poorer than you, but they still think they're better than you because, I'm Mayo. My skin tone's Mayo. I might be poor trash, but at least, look at those Africans. Look what happened to those Africans in China. So did they not have values? Family values, this, that, and the third? They got scapegoated. Those Africans got scapegoated. They try to blame the Africans for the COVID, and then they were kicking them out of the apartments and stuff. And then they had signs, we don't serve blacks in these restaurants. Like, that's some Jim Crow type shit. Man, I was kind of taken aback, but I was like, wow. I ain't seen shit like that on videos, at least on video, since like some Jim Crow type shit. Colored folks aren't allowed to do this or that. Colored folks warrior fountain. I was like, wow. But to be honest, I'm not surprised. It's China. It's some anti-black sentiment that goes down in China, including colorism. Like, they're actually the highest when it comes to skin bleach, more than this Daggle, more than in Africa. Really? Because a lot of them people in China, they think whiteness means status, and this means you're better, and darkness means that you're in the bottom. And they don't want to hire black people in certain positions. Shout out to Randy Flagg. He had his experience down there. He took a white guy who was like a manager down there, trying to tell him that ECAS, man, they got some problems. Not saying all, but some. Then what I heard, man, this is an African lady. They didn't even want her to teach down there, be a teacher, because they was afraid of her darkness. They were afraid the kids were gonna be scared of her darkness. And I heard they be the little kids have been indoctrinated to think black people grow tails. Even down there in Korea, that's what I heard from somebody who got interviewed, who's been living in Korea for years, know the culture, the in and out, and the culture, know the language and everything. 6 foot. You ain't really hear stuff like that since basically the Nazi war, the Nazi wars, and those guys down there in France used to tell the American soldiers, the white American soldiers used to tell them guys that, these black guys, these black people, man, especially these black men, they got tails. But I digress. This is not me trying to just 100% shit on those countries, because believe it or not, I still do plan on going to some of these countries in Asia. I still do. Once I get my passport, I do plan on going to some of these countries. I'm just bringing awareness to the other side. That's all I'm doing. Not trying to discourage anybody, but I digress. You know what? I said I didn't want to take long on this video. Looks like I'm gonna have to take long, man. But I'm on this Asian Boss channel. I'll be looking at some of that guy's videos here and there every once in a while, and I'll be looking at the comment section. Dudes out there talking greasy, man. Talking real greasy, talking about we're attacking them. And it's not even true. These guys are from Korea. They believe we out there attacking them. I'm not saying all, but I'm saying some might believe this, because I'm seeing comments in the comment section. And I really got to give a shout out to Kid Organic, because he's really been talking about this. Black people, especially black men, we have to control our image. And I agree with that. I just think any guy who got a problem with what I'm saying, you don't want to put in any work. I get it. It's too much work. You just want to worry about yourself and be an individual, and that's okay. But I do believe we should try to control these images and control the narrative to anybody who's willing to do it. And I gotta give a shout out to Hardcore Tito. I keep calling him by his original name, but General Tito. He talking about he want to make a website for black men to get our voice out there, put our content on. But I just want to add, I think Hardcore Tito should also create another site, basically like some type of black media site where we can just get our voices out there when it comes to trending topics, especially like in the media or what's going on out there in the world. We should have our own thing, so that way we can sort of try to control the narrative. It'll be our way of trying to control the narrative. It's better than nothing. But going back to like these anti-Asian crimes, it's like people over there trying to get black leaders, trying to go to black leaders and talking about why are black communities silent and all this, as if this is our problem. And you got individuals making videos saying don't blame black people for the anti-Asian crimes, blame leaders, as if leaders control the actions of every people, or they speak for everybody in certain communities. I mean, where all the Where are the Latino leaders, the white leaders, the Italian leaders, etc., etc.? Why are we? Why are people only singling out the black leaders, so-called black leaders? Black people aren't the only people in this country. What about cleaning up the tension with white people, or maybe some Latinos, white Latinas, etc., etc., or Arabs, Indians? At their ages, my bad. Well, there are some bad blood between Indians and other Asians, because the Indians, they get looked down upon by other Asians because of colorism, because of their darker skin. But the irony is, some of them Indians, man, they be looking down on black people, and they just as dark as us, if not darker. It's more light skinned black people than Indians. Wow. I give you another example. Again, these mayonnaise crazy guys, they're over here killing them, shooting them up, bang bang. They're not even a front vocal of these attacks. That's what I'm talking about, controlling the narrative. I mean, we ain't even talking about how America and China, they still going at it. It's like they playing a petty version of the Cold War with each other. China, they try to call America out with human rights violation, which is the truth, really. But China doesn't necessarily have any room to talk because they're full of it. They're hypocrites. Let's not act like there ain't any anti-black sentiments in China. And then we really need to discuss that colorism, because I heard a guy on YouTube who talked about the hypocrisy of the Asian hate thing. He was saying how this Chinese guy he was talking to told him the real about what go down there in China with the skin bleaching and all that. Like, it's billions of money. Like, the skin bleaching industry down there in China make billions of dollars. None of media propaganda is that when black men get in trouble, we're the poster boys, the face of everything when we get in trouble. Domestic violence, sex, um, you know, being in sexual situations with underage people, or Kelly and them. You get NFL players lose their career for doing little to nothing, but when these mayonnaise mafioso guys, these dude bros, beat the crap out of their wives, they don't lose their career. They don't get destroyed like Ray Rice, Michael Vick, Ben Roethlisberger. You already know what it is with him, what he got caught up in. Ain't lose his career yet. When it's a brother, they making his brother do the purr while, like, they put everything in the media. They playing the sad music. They put everything in front of people. They're shoving it down people's throat. When it comes to these mayonnaise guys, excuse me, when it comes to these Mr. Clean type dudes, they might mention it and then they sweep it under the rug. Propaganda. They can do that because they control the narrative. This is why I agree that we should have black media, black male media especially, and some of these militant type cats who got media channels, they talk about stuff in the news and call out the hypocrisy. Look, I can still somewhat respect that because at least they're trying to control the narrative and call out the BS in the media. I mean, I don't have to like them, but I can respect what they're doing in terms of when it comes to media. One thing I want to change, that the default, man, of the first image that people have in their head when it comes to the leaders, the default guy, the selected guy, who's the phase of black male society inside of black society. It's these player type dudes, these rapper type dudes, or freaking athlete. Not a frontline black man, a blue collar type black man or a leader, a black man that's mentoring these young boys out here, or like a doctor, a hard working man, period. That's not the image that comes up out on people's head because it's not pushed in the media. But you guys should get what I'm saying. I don't want to make this sound like an echo chamber. I've been on here long enough. I said it was going to be a short video, but sometimes things don't go according to plan. Let me know what you guys think. And, I'm out.